Queenie had a peep over the right shoulder, and she's going to blow them away. But Northerly, Danny Miller pumping away, and Northerly wins the railway.
Welcome to Racing Rewind. Our panel will review and digest the Prime WA Saturday Thoroughbred meeting from 24 hours earlier. If you have an opinion, send a text to 0427 789 571.
Galaxy Star draws away from them. Pike Magician.
Yes, another magician joining us is Matt French, the magician, after finding the winner of the first yesterday, along with Richard Bell. Good tipping there, Matt.
Thank you, Marty. Jeez, boom me up, why don't you? Thank you very much. No, good day yesterday over at Bunbury. It seemed like there was a bit of a party and a half on course. I didn't get down there, but It seemed like it was a great day for Cup Day and Stakes.
Sponsored by Swan Draft. Why wouldn't it be a party
I bet it would have been.
Many new races were on yesterday, and
Mini new race.
Yeah, new race, exactly. They only had one race, and then the meeting was abandoned. Johnny Claite was there officiating, and he joins us now to tell us what happened and what was it all about. Hi, John.
Good morning, Marty and Matt. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming on the program. Just tell us what happened.
It's one of them unfortunate incidents again, mate. It's a disappointing for everyone, and no one wins, obviously. Trainers, owners, the club itself, jockeys, everyone makes a big effort, long trek to these meetings. The towns are reliant, the club's reliant on their cup day. Look, to start off these one-day meetings, I was down there with 4 apprentices. We do our usual trek of walking in the track because these once meetings. You have to walk the track, and it's a tricky track. Walked okay from a couple of dry patches, and after the first race, Chris Nicol came in not happy with what his horse had done. Had stumbled a couple of times and dipped in running, and after inspection with all the jockeys and the officials and the track staff and the club members, we decided to call the races off. There was a big section of divots that were made after the first race between the 1100 and the 850 that showed a significant amount of holes that had been ripped out, and because of the amount of divots that were made, the decision was made to abandon the meeting.
So, Johnny, is this something that is there any way that this could have been avoided by a obviously you've walked the track, but I can't imagine, we wouldn't have walked the whole, at the 800 to 1150 mark. Is this something that could have been avoided if we had someone go, say, the day prior up to these once a year tracks to do a full inspection of this? Because this seems, I recall a few times now that this has happened, and it's just a big disappointment for absolutely everybody. And it is a unique track, as you say, and these clubs go by doing a lot of the work on a voluntary basis or part-time. And is there anything that RAWA or the people back in Perth can do to kind of try and prevent this from happening? And at the very worst, let's say they go up on the Friday and realise that this is going to happen, and then make sure that everyone doesn't go up for the 4.5 hour drive to Minginyu on the Saturday.
Yeah, look, there are. And as far as I know, the club steward from Gelton drove the few days beforehand, up to, I think, 4 or 5 days beforehand. Mm-hmm. She gave it a tick, but they did have a little bit of rain on the Thursday or Friday. And had you told me that track was going to cut out as bad after walking the track, I wouldn't have believed you. Mm. I've walked 100 tracks over the years and very meticulous, and I was dumbfounded just how much it ripped out. It didn't walk squelchy. It didn't. It was a little bit damp in a couple of spots, but it didn't worry me one bit. But to answer your question, look, there probably could be, but as you said, it's voluntary based. But I'm sure that would have been the same position as me as what I was after walking the track.
Yeah, okay. Will the meeting being transferred to another date, or is it gone?
Oh, look, I don't know. After all the kerfuffle and the decisions and whatnot, we pretty much tidied up and had to get out of there. So
get out of there as quick as you can, Johnny.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, what was the mood of the stakeholders there on the day?
Look, it was very professionally done by all. And, everyone was across the board and everyone was given the correct information through jockeys and everything like that and stewards. It was handled very well. Naturally, just disappointment.
Yep.
They came down and had a look. It wasn't a quick decision. It took nearly an hour to make that decision, but because of the concerns with the jockeys and Chris was, he only had 3 days. Chris, Nickel only had 3 rides, and that was his first ride, and he said he's not prepared to ride his next 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the main concern. And then once we got the other senior jockeys down, and we got the committee members, and they'd seen the deterioration of that quickly after that one race, they understood. And as we are, and we say it all the time, safety is paramount.
Yep.
I had 4 apprentices and 1 4-kilo apprentice there. And honestly, I wouldn't have rode on it. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not going to ride on it, I don't expect my apprentices to ride on.
There you have it. You're off to Albany today, Bluff Knoll Day.
Oh, what another big day it's going to be, eh? Making history again. The big fella Bayless, he'll be pumping his chest out, I reckon.
Yeah, he will be strutting, that is for sure. Johnny, thanks for making yourself available. Have some fun down in Albany. Hope everyone gets around safely today.
Good on you. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
He's a beauty, Johnny Claite. Echuca race number 2 is on at the moment. Jackie's Made was the early tip. It's a $2.40 chance. We won't take a live broadcast at this stage because we have got plenty to get through, and Steph Vahala will be a special guest on the program coming up. But from your point of view, we normally ask our talent on the show, how did the track play there yesterday?
Track was very on pace by us yesterday. Anything that made ground yesterday, you can simply black book because there will be a huge run in review. Yesterday we had leaders back winning, leader winning, leader winning, leaders back winning, 8th in the cup, which is the staying trip, and then leader winning.
Yep.
So it was just impossible to make ground. And we've been talking about this a little bit now at the provincial tracks like Bunbury and Pinjarra about how on pace it is. And last night went back through the last 12 meetings over at Ascot, which is traditionally known as a bit of an on-pace type of venue, short, sharp turn where you can kick away, you get conditions to suit. In the last 12 meetings there, 21% winners have been leading on the turn at Ascot. At Pinjarra, we're getting 31%. At Bunbury, we're getting 31% now. And that's not even considering the on-pace that we're looking at either, where, you sit second or third and you can roll over the top. And it's just, I would be thinking twice about taking any horse that has to have a run-on pattern to go to Bunbury at the moment. It's playing very, very difficult, and we saw that yesterday. And if you can identify those that are going to be able to position up on pace, you're going to be justly rewarded for it.
Look, we've had 4 or 5 texts on the text line. I'm not going to read them out, but along those lines of Bunbury's just been too on pace all year. One thing that happens with an on pace track from a punter's point of view, and you've already told me off air that you identified 6 winners or around 6 winners for the day, is that you can make the change. Well, you've done your form going into Bunbury yesterday on pace runners. That's why you've done your form. Mm-hmm. Now, if your opponent says, well, let's see how it unfolds, race 1, 2, so right, I'm going to make the adjustment, find the leader, find the speed map that gives me the first either leader or leaders back around the corner. So from a punter's point of view, it can be advantageous.
It can be, and we saw
from an owner's point of view,
absolutely,
and a trainer's point of view, it's a nightmare.
Yep, absolutely. And you see some of the trainers having to move around their horses, doing some significant Ks just to be able to get onto a bit more of a fairer track. I think I saw a few weeks ago. So I'm going up to Geraldton because, there was a nice race and race shape for it. And, at Geraldton, you're getting a bit more of a fairer track compared to those that we see in Bunbury and Pinjarra. Albany's levelled out, I think, nicely in the last few weeks in the lead up for the Bluff Knoll today. So that'll be good to see. But, it's just been very hard. And you're right, in terms of the punters, we saw some really strong moves yesterday for those that were likely to land on pace. Ultimate Command, I think you've just mentioned. And even big old Bruce like Boots, he came in from 5s, I think, and was favourite within 10 minutes. So, punters can get it right pretty easily when there is such of a bias, but it's not fun to watch, let's face it. It's not good for the sport.
Did you go into the steward's room and have a look what happened there? No? No, well, I'll get it.
The steward's I tried, but for some reason there's no steward's report. Again, I don't know what happens when we're in Bunbury or Pinjarra on a Saturday. For some reason we don't get a steward's report on the Sunday morning.
Okay, that horse, Jackie's Maid's got the money at Echuca, at Echuca, I should say. So good luck there if you followed the early money. Mitch Friedman trained galloper wins and pays about $2.70. Gee, there's a lot of text coming through, so we're going to have to get onto them quickly. We've got one through. Can you repeat Brad Hardy, Sunday Saviour? Here we go. Canberra race 6, number 1, Thunderlips, $2.70. Race 7, number 3, Amazing Eagle, The Place, $1.70. Race 9, number 1, Emancipist, as there are 2 of him, fingers crossed, at $4.40. The total there is $20.20. Brad, of course, for Retrovision and loans 1, 2, 3. That is his Sunday Saviour. Right, let's get into it and have a look at the races yesterday at Bunbury. And race number 1 was the Bunbury Turf Club celebrates the 150th anniversary plate over the 1,000 metres.
Task and 5 lengths away is Bondi Sun. Around the turn they run, and Desert Wave showed very good pace to hold out. Blue Rocket is put under some pressure. Sir Dreamalot tracked up really well, moves into the clear now and chases hard after the leaders. And then came Mean Machine, and further back in the field is Divine Impact, but Sir Dreamalot has quickly raced up on the outside. It's shot to the front and looked over. Sir Dreamalot is streaking away from them. Blue Rocket is running second. Then came Divine Impact, but an easy win to Sir Dreamalot. Had bolted in. Sir Dreamalot won by 5 lengths to Blue Rocket, Divine Impact and Bubbles in Rio.
Okay, won by 4.5. It was tight there. Blue Rocket, I thought, did a good job to fight on into second. Divine Impact third. Bubbles in Rio fourth, and fifth was Mean Machine.
Yes, Sir Dreamalot. Richie's gone out and tipped it publicly as well yesterday. Look, we saw this horse last week on Racing Rewind, and it just didn't get a chance last start at all. And yesterday, it just had a really good setup. Blinkers went on 12 back to 1,000, and from there, you could imagine there'd be a bit of positive intent going forward, and that's exactly what we got. Sat behind the leader, and it was just far too strong. I was surprised at how well it won, to be honest. I think Bradley was after as well, listening to his interview. But the race really changed complexion, and when this will show you, just completely bombed the start. Yep. And that was her race, done and dusted right there. Blue Rocket, like you said, I thought he sat outside of a decent pace that was set by Desert Waves. I don't know. I still thought that's where most thought he would be mapped in running as well, because most people thought we'd see this will show you be able to cross and
Blue Rocket
Blue Rocket Breeze. So held on into second, good enough. I thought still a 2-year-old, so I'm not sure if they press on with the campaign or they might take it for a spell now into the paddock. Not sure. We'll see what happens. And Divine Impact ground away into third. One interesting horse in this race was Mean Machine. Not sure if they've named it after the Longest Yard movie, the Prisoners football team, the Mean Machine. But look, went around yesterday after 2 very impressive 400-metre trials. I think it won 1 by 13 lengths. It finished in with the rest of them. Jury's still out for me, not really sure. But yeah, no, all honours were with Sir Dreamalot in the first.
Yeah, he was just tracking up, wasn't he, behind the leaders, and you could see once Brad was able to angle off the fence, he was going to put them to the sword very quickly.
Very quickly.
And he did. Showed a good turn of foot, obviously, those blinkers, and just back to 1,000 metres from 1,200. Good training from young Joshua Crispin. Good to see him training a winner there on Saturday. Anything else to report from the first?
No, that's all.
On to race number 2, and we spoke about this earlier on with Brad Hardy. It was the Bunbury Brighter Handicap over the 1,000 metres.
Thanks to Tycoon Harry, who's down on the inside. If I Didn't Have a Dime is going around the outside. Lamore was put under pressure. Inside Success, still back last, but getting to the outside. Inside the 250, Salt Lake Shake, joined by Tycoon Harry. Into the clear and burst to the front. Tycoon Harry hitting the front from Salt Lake Shake. Nothing really coming from behind at the moment. Tycoon Harry in front of Salt Lake Shake. Tycoon Harry doing enough from Salt Lake Shake, and it's another win, 4 in a row. Tycoon Harry has won from Salt Lake Shake, third of Photo, Close Talker in the centre, and Wider out.
Yeah, well, it just keeps on winning, doesn't he? Harry is a beauty, and too good there for Salt Lake Shake. This Harry Angel 3-year-old trained by Jimmy Taylor.
Yeah, going great guns for the Taylor yard, 4 in a row now, and it actually beat Salt Lake Shake at the beginning of this winning streak as well. And yesterday you conceded him 6 kilos differential from when he beat him a nose 4 starts ago, and he's been able to do it again. So you've just seen the improvement that this horse has taken from start to start, I think. Salt Lake Shake, I thought he had every chance in that race yesterday, on pace, leading, different weight. I thought they used Chris tried to use that to his advantage as well, and tried to make him really try and carry the extra weight. Still wasn't able to get him over the line. So I thought it was a good effort by Salt Lake Shake, but I thought he had every chance. Inside Success, barrier 8, goes back on the track that we saw yesterday. He absolutely bolted in first up down at Albany. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back and run a very good race next start.
He was one of those out the back and was making good ground late.
Yep. Went around at 270, and I reckon if this was race 4 or 5 after you'd seen the first 4 or 5, he doesn't go around at 270. And I still thought it was a decent enough effort when you consider all things. If I didn't have a dime, ground into third after breezing yesterday, it just ground away. And see you at the session. I know he's no world beater, but I thought he ran well enough yesterday, going up from a Class 1 to a 60 plus, and was able to make up a little bit of ground in between the traffic.
Was it a bad little 3-year-old race? There's 5, I think, last start winners in the race, which you don't often see.
No, you don't. So I know If I Didn't Have a Dime came out of I think last start win as well, when getting very good conditions to suit as well, and leading. See you at the session, and Inside Success, like you said, big run at Albany. Maybe the camp might have wished they kept it in Albany for a race down there today, but I don't know the programming, so this might have been the best chance for it to go around.
Okay, another one off the text line says, well, what causes all this on-pace bias at racetracks? What's your thought on it, Matt?
My only thing with Bunbury is because of the relay that they did for the new course. I was thinking that maybe that has something to do with it, but I don't know. My quick answer is I don't know. Because
it hasn't always been such an on-pace course, Bunbury.
No, it hasn't.
It was always one of the fairer courses, a bit softer. Yep. Horses like to go there, get the toe in. Say Bob would always take his horses there, and they're predominantly horses who'd like to run on and win. And they'll progress through as well through the grades, and then they'll take them to town. It was a feeding ground, really, for the progressive Bob Peters horses. I think, and I've discussed this with Wes quite a bit as well, and also Neville Duncan, there's a lot of the newer tracks are now built with such good drainage that they're very firm in nature, and with firmer tracks, it's always harder to make ground as well. That is well known.
Yep.
And normally here in WA, the wind plays a big part in it, doesn't it?
Especially at Ascot, right, where you've got the strong easterlies.
Easterlies. But yesterday would have been a sea breeze in there at Bunbury for sure, wouldn't it? You would have thought.
You'd imagine so. But
just judging by what was going on here. So it is. It's a conundrum. We see it all. Look, Flemington again yesterday on pace. All I know, if I was breeding horses, I'd be breeding horses that are running up the front in speed, because if you're a get-back run-on horse these days, it's very hard to find a track where you can go and you'll get conditions to suit.
Yep, every time as well. It just seems to be, just this constant theme at the moment. And look, hopefully we'll figure out what's going on, and we can have some fairer pads moving forward. But at the moment, it wasn't yesterday, unfortunately, and it was especially during such a big day for Bunbury.
As I said in that last caller, Tim, look, if you're a punter, just cut your cloth to suit what's going on out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Just find the leader, do your speed maps.
Do your speed maps.
And you'll come up with a winner. Race number 3 was the Bunbury GMSV Silverado West Speed Platinum Handicap over the 1,200 metres.
And well back is Lucky's Way. Chavorio dropped out, and on the inside is the stablemate of Lucky's Way. Desert Vixen around the turn. Alter Command about to go for home, leads by a half. The Great Hoya moved up on the outside. Behind them, No Dice. Diamond Rocks is working into the clear strongly. And then came Big Cities inside the 200 though. And Ultimate Command showing no signs of stopping. Leads by 1. Trying very hard on the outside is the Great Hoya, but Ultimate Command clear from the Great Hoya. And Ultimate Command goes all the way to win from the Great Hoya second. 2 lengths away, Diamond Rocks third, ahead away fourth, Big Cities.
Okay, Ultimate Command was never going to lose that race. The Great Hoya, I think they won 2 on the bend, weren't they? Finished that way. I did like the run of Diamond Rocks making ground.
Yeah, it made a bit of ground, I thought, as well. But just touching back on the winner in Ultimate Command, Barrier 1, Kesture and on natural front running type of horse, and it was backed accordingly into 225 on the jump. And I thought as soon as it pinged the gates and led quite easily, that was game over. And you can see they finished 1, 2, 3, 4 nearly in this. So it was really positions in running. But look, first up, this horse went down just by a nostril to Big Old Boots, who we saw in the next race come out and win. So it definitely put the writing on the wall. It was even unsuccessful protest, if I remember correctly, as well. So going really well. I think Neville was quite happy with her return, and could possibly be the last campaign that we see of her, with a mention of the breeding barn to come as I think it's a 5-year-old mare now. But no, very good run, and I hope we see her a few more times out on the track. The Great Hoya could only manage to breeze, and from there, I think that was kind of it. If he'd managed to cross Ultimate Command, I think Ultimate Command then just sits behind him, exactly like we saw Sir Dream a lot in the first. I still think he probably zaps him late. Diamond Rocks managed to put its head into third, but yeah, it made a little bit of ground, I thought, Marty, but I wasn't taken aback by it too much, to be honest. Big City was probably the run of the race in this. It was no better than 3 wide the trip, and it was only bobbed out for third. I thought it was a pretty good run, and I think it's been improving for the Brett Pope yard every race it's been in so far this campaign. If we look at Halatorian, he had to carry top weight yesterday. Yep. Track pattern against it. I'm still happy to say he's coming back to racing well in this new training environment. So I'll just put a line straight through that run and see how he goes next start.
Okay, it is 29 minutes away from 9 o'clock. We'll take a break. It is...
You are listening to Racing Rewind on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Over on the inside, Vampire play out wider with My Mate in the middle, and differentiators on the fence for Poyer's corner. Boots Like Bruce just rolled off the inside a little bit, but still clear top of the straight. Leads bar length and 3/4 to Simple Logic. Uncle Gerard's gone back in the field, playing Rio behind them. Keep attacking, trying to get out, and then came Imperialise inside the 200. Oh, Bruce is home. Boots Like Bruce had raced right away. Very special indeed, Bruce. And what a win. Boots Like Bruce has bolted in from Keep Attacking, photo third. We got Vampire play wide out.
Nothing like a bit of Bruce. Rio. And he gets the money there. He's in very good form, Fran King.
Oh, he certainly is. And, well, Richie was in a good bit of form there, wasn't he? That was a special call by Richie with Big Bruce leading. It was great to listen to, I thought. It's 2 in a row now for Bruce. He won first up against Ultimate Command, who we saw win the third yesterday. And I think within the space of about 5 minutes, this horse was about 550 into about 340, 350, and the money was just very strong for it after seeing how well Ultimate Command ran, and we saw that we were getting an on-pace day. Barrier 1, Boots Like Bruce, he knows one way, the big boy, and Alan Kennedy did everything right by him, and he was just he won by 3 in the end. You know, he was really powering away, and you're right, he positions himself up on pace, and he gets every chance, and he's just racing really well for the King stable at the moment, and I'm sure a trip to Ascot won't be too far away. I thought
second and third were pretty good.
Second and third were very good. Keep Attacking and Vampire play, even fourth in Supportive. I marked these three as having very good runs. Keep Attacking, thought he found the line well, getting caught up in some traffic up the straight, and has been racing pretty consistently this campaign as well. So that was certainly an eye-catcher. And I thought the 2 Parnham runners, like you just mentioned, Vampire Play, Supportive, rule a line through the run in terms of their placings, but I thought they both had merit yesterday, making up that slight bit of ground on the outside of the track. And I think Neville didn't mind Vampire Play yesterday either in terms of the work that she had been putting up prior. So, yeah, no, I would certainly be looking at those two moving forward.
What'd you make of the run of Playing Rio?
Okay. 5th, 4 lengths off them. Closing sectionals of 34.90, put it in the same bucket as Simple Logic and Imperialise. I just don't think it's kind of recaptured its form from a few starts ago. We put two in the line, to be honest. I'm not sure. Possibly go back to the Great South in Albany, where it had been racing well prior.
Okay, on to race number 5, the William Barrett and Sons Vase over the 1675.
Front of Sports Talk, then Snazzler, Kiora Jewel, Pokes Thrill on the inside, Gold Fries and Nero King. They're both out very, very wide inside the 300. Forever Boy under the whip, just in front, joined by Lord Gannicus. Lord Gannicus has raced to Forever Boy, then Sports Talk, and down the outside running on his prey again, followed by Snazzler. Lord Gannicus, Forever Boy comes back hard. Forever Boy just in front and beat Lord Gannicus. Again ran third and Sports Talk fourth. Then came Kiora.
Nothing better than hearing the roar of the crowd as having a fighting finish up that straight there at Bunbury. It was Forever Boy, the charmed spirit out of Neverland for Michael Grantham. Bob and Sandra and Clint Johnson Porter riding in brilliant form, staving off Lord Gannigas up the straight.
I reckon the crowd noise got louder after every race yesterday for some unknown reason, Marty, down there. It was great to hear. But if you wanted to know how the track was played yesterday, go watch this race and you can use this as a summary. If we strip out Pray Again, who made really good ground, I thought, coming from, I think he was 7th on the turn, the starting positions of all these, the finishing positions, of all these horses were the exact same they had on the turn, except for Pray Again in the top 9 or 10 horses. So, you just couldn't make any ground. And Forever Boy, positive riding from Clint yesterday, saw him take up the lead. And from there, he was able to lead and control. And we saw Lord Gannigas, who breezed, but those two just kicked clear on the turn. And CJ was able to hold the lead on this horse, and that was the winning move. I think if Lord Gannigas crosses, I thought he probably wins that race yesterday. Clint had to extract everything he possibly could out of Forever Boy to hold on from Chrissy on the outside. Lord Gannigas, I think Forever Boy, he won nicely last start as well in that hot Frappuccino.
Sat 3 deep.
Sat 3 deep in that hot Frappuccino race where they burnt the turf from, I think Frappuccino to cross from barrier 14. And he's gone from a maiden into a 60 plus yesterday. So I thought that as much as the track pattern suited it, it's pretty impressive to be able to take that step up as well. I know they spoke afterwards to the train. I think it was the Grantham, was it? Sorry?
Michael Grantham, yeah.
Yeah, no, Michael wasn't on track, but they mentioned the JC Roberts in a week over the 1,800 metres.
Back up.
And, for the backup. But they'll just see how the horse comes through and see what Mr. Peters would be looking at in terms of programming and if it's coming up all a little bit too soon for him. Mm-hmm. But clearly one they have a little bit of time for and a bit of an opinion of. Pray Again, I thought was one of the, I don't want to say runs of the meeting, but it was a big third yesterday. Shows, I think, the Parnham stable's ticking along quite well, and he'll be a follow for me taking out of the meeting. Nero King for the Taylor Yard. Big raps on the horse. He doesn't, he went around $4.40 yesterday, and I thought he ran on strong enough, as in don't get off him next start, but I just don't know where they place him because he seems to have his issues at Ascot, and Bunbury and Pinjarra, like we've said, just don't seem to suit his track, his racing pattern at the moment. So I'm not sure where they go to. I don't know if they wait for some Belmont racing to come up, because at the moment I think that's a better option than what else they have on the table. Kia or a Jewel, I thought was disappointing yesterday. Tracked along the speed, just stayed exactly where he was. We had Pray Again running past her, and Gold Fries along with Snazzler. Thought they were both fine, but not much to read.
Nero King, it was an on-topper for Riley. What happened to it?
Yeah, like that was the one I was just talking about. Nero King just got too far back and just can't make up ground, and they just need to find a track where it's suitable. So,
okay. What about Forever Boy as a horse going forward? So they're obviously thinking it may be a horse that could get to a derby if they want to go to the Roberts. By Charmed Spirit, they do stay. It's an Invincible Spirit horse out of Neverland. I like this horse because he's only had 4 starts. Now, that's the first time he's led.
Yep.
Right? So it's not easy to make a horse lead when he hasn't led before, and then being able to stave off a horse called Lord Gannigas, who I know he doesn't win that often, but he's got undoubted ability, Lord Gannigas.
And it was a good setup for him yesterday too, Lord Gannigas. This is a pretty good win, I reckon,
Forever Boy. And as you said, the start before, hot race, 3 deep, fought it out really well to the line.
Against another, I don't want to say derby favourite, but a horse that they have a lot of time for as well. Yep. So, it'll be interesting to see if the timing is right for Forever Boy, but I think this is a horse that we'll be seeing in the future for certain. Okay,
race number 6 is the MGIB handicap over the 2,200 metres.
Little bit on the outside, trying hard is Fat Roy Slim. Tiffslat bolting in behind them. Matavendra's getting up on the inside, and then Flower in the wind. Well back, Captain Pluto. He's a Zeb gone from Dutchies to Merit, and last of all is Candlelight Supper. Around the turn they run. Filthy Habits has got the front. No run for Tiffslat, trying to get up on the inside, but there's nothing doing. And down the outside, Flower in the wind, and Matavendra joined in with a really good run. Fat Roy Slim fights on as well. Flower in the wind has raced up on the outside and taken the lead. The run run coming for Tiff's Lad now, though. Tiff's Lad, Flower in the Wind. Tiff's Lad going home brilliantly. What a ride, what a win. Tiff's Lad has won from Flower in the Wind or Filthy Habits, and they're followed by either just behind.
Tell you what, as races go, it was a ripping race, wasn't it? Again, Filthy Habits looking like it was going to lead all the way, and Wind drifting off the fence. Up goes Tiff's Lad, and Flower in the Wind's there as well, with horses making their runs and not being able to get to the leaders. It was a very exciting race.
It was, 7 horses within 2 lengths of each other here, and post-race interview with Vicky Corver was very interesting to listen to. She reckoned she had about 6 strides that the horse had of free galloping room past the 100 metres to make that run, and she said she'd done the form and she saw exactly what Filthy Habits was going to do, and true to form, she held it, and she had to sweat on the run until the 100 metres, but it finally opened up for her with Filthy Habits just rolling off the inside again like we saw 7 days ago, which is exactly what Holly Watson did with Icebergs, and we saw that was able to come through just in the nick of time on the hot patch of turf that we saw and got the job done. I know there was a few people that tipped this yesterday and they would have been sweating until the very last minute, but it was a very good run and they paid dividends for it. Second was Flower in the Wind here, and geez, she loomed large into this, and you hear Stephen getting interviewed after his race on Aztec Ruler, and you could tell he thought he was home for all uncertainty on this thing, and he's got done by nearly half a length on the line, and it just looms so strongly. And I think with a fair pad, you see this horse winning most days of the week. Certainly a follow for mine, and Filthy Habits is just conditions to suit again, but geez, it looked gone at the 300 metres and it was still in front with 100 to go. It was just able to grind on and stay in front there for Lucy somehow until it just got rolled over in the last little bit. But still went around. Really healthy quote there, Marty, yesterday at $7, which I was quite surprised at. And in behind them we had Fat Roy Slim, who the money came for hard, finished a length off, and Manavendra, coming out of the Esperance Cup last week, which was a hotly run race as well. Still couldn't get over the top of them, had to carry the 60 though. And the one horse I thought was a good follow out of this was Dutchie's Demerit. It's a back marker, run on stayer. And he's been racing very, very well, and yesterday did not get a single crack at them to finish only a length and a half off.
Okay, before we have a look at the Bunbury Stakes, race number 3 from Echuca is not too far away from being run and won, and one Mr. Saxabeaters. 462 Storm's Colours $1.93, Babylon $5.50, 4 Crazy Adam $5.50, and number 9 Munza Magic at $19. Terry Bailey calling on Corsair today is tipped 3, 2, 1 and 4, but we'll get back now to the racing review of the Bunbury Stakes and Bunbury Cup meeting. Tap Touch sponsored the Bunbury Stakes over the 1,400 metres.
Clicking work, Hot Zed getting off the inside nicely, Mojo Rhythm following, and then came St. Torio, well back Crescent City, River Rubicon is about to get to the outside as they come around the home turn. Red 53, Ridden for Luck, is back on the inside as they come down with 300 to go, and here's Mojo Rhythm putting in a brilliant run right down the outside of the track. Mojo Rhythm has raced up with Aztec Ruler getting the split now. Aztec Ruler got through and shot to the front. The stakes is over. Red 53 is flying, but Aztec Ruler in front, and Aztec Ruler has won from Red 53, a super run from last. Mood Swings, and then came Weapon Son. Mojo
Another very busy finish here, Matt, with Aztec Ruler getting the late split for Stevie Parnham and Steph Vahala, who joins us right now to talk about the win in the Bunbury Stakes. Congratulations, Stefan.
Cheers, thank you very much, Marty, and morning guys, how are we?
Very good, Stefan. Thanks for joining us this morning. Aztec Ruler, it was a great ride yesterday. I thought was able to get the splits when it needed to. Was there much talk with Stephen before the race in running to see that horse so positively ridden and in the first 4?
No, there was actually talk the other way. But the horse just jumped so well, and like Stevie would have had to have strangled him to be further back. So, the horse made up our minds for us.
Which was probably the thing that needed to happen based on how we saw the race run. Look, we saw the interference that he copped first up from, I think it was Search and Rocks. Did he take any harm from that, or was it a setback at all? Or?
Not from Search. The interference obviously was from Search and Rocks, but the damage was done by Red 53, who got us pretty bad behind.
Yep.
He missed probably 3-4 days' work. after that run, just sort of nursing him over that soreness. He's pretty stiff and sore behind in the back leg. And, but once we got him over that, he just sort of improved sharply.
So what did you do in your training to help get him over that? A bit of water work or something like that?
I just had him on the walker and just with ice in the back leg, obviously where he got gallets on, and just a typical sort of butte, and just a lot of long walking. And sort of once he was through that, then we just sort of stepped his work up accordingly, and his work on Tuesday was brilliant, and he pulled up really well too. So we went into it pretty confident.
Look, he's had 12 starts now for 6 wins and 3 seconds. He's clearly one of the more consistent gallopers going around. Have we looked forward to the programming to see where his next start might be? I think I heard yesterday you say possibly one more run before a bit of a let up. Is that right?
I have to chat to the owners. It's a sort of a tricky one because we sort of had planned to have the 3 runs, and he missed out on that first run with the heat, and then so I don't know which way we go. Whether we sort of try and get him ready for the Bunbury Stakes now, or do we go to the 1500 in 2 weeks?
Sorry, Bunbury Stakes yesterday.
Man, I was saying this the other day. The Belmont Sprint. I don't know. I keep doing it. Yeah, 1400 still, but different race.
But Steph, that win vindicates your decision, doesn't it? In the sort of early spring of last year, when there was a lot of people wanting Aztec Ruler to be given a bit of a let up and bring him back for the good races during November and December, and you said, no, I want to go forward and keep him for a Pinjarra Classic or a Bunbury Stakes. So your decision has been vindicated.
Yeah, it doesn't always work in racing like that, but we're very lucky that it's come off. But he just seemed a bit immature last time, and like we saw in the 1600, he just sort of struggled to finish it off, and that wasn't against the top horses either, so I'd have assumed that we would have really struggled in a railway that year. So hopefully now he's definitely grown and filled out, and hopefully that extra 12 months makes a big difference for him.
It's quite good to see this horse as well be able to replicate his runs on both good and soft tracks. Do you find he doesn't mind his toeing to the ground on some of the softer Belmont circuits? Is that why you're thinking possibly going there for the stakes?
Look, I think he's just a good horse. Like I don't think it really matters if he's on a firm track or a soft track. He obviously gets through the soft track, which is a big benefit because not all horses can get to it. No, just more the Bunbury Stakes. It's a Group 3. There's a few listed races on the way to the Bunbury Belmont Sprint. I'm sorry.
Belmont Sprint.
I guess I've been planning this Bunbury Stakes for so long. That's what I'm thinking about. But the Belmont Sprint, there's a few listed races on the way, and sort of, if he was to win 1 or 2 more of those races, he'd get back in on a really light weight again. Mm-hmm. So that's probably more the plan, and then you can go out, have a nice spell, and come back for the summer carnival, and give that a real shake.
And just quickly, a quick mention to your other runner yesterday in Soldanel in the Cup. What did you? How did she come back?
Look, she pulled up fine. She's all good this morning. I feel like I'm in a relationship with her, to be honest. Like every time I think I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing the wrong thing. So it's a bit.
Do the opposite.
Yeah, she's a bit. Exactly. So I think we'll just fresh her up and get her back to the mile. Yeah. I mean, we bought her as a stayer, but the way she ran yesterday, she sort of tracked into it really nicely, and she looked like she was going to let down, but she just flattened out pretty quick. So we'll drop her back to a mile.
Okay, Stefan, thanks for coming on Racing Rewind this morning. Bask in the glory of that Bunbury Stakes win, mate, and we're looking forward to seeing Aztec Ruler again.
All right, cheers. Thank you very much, guys.
There is Steph Vahala with the big win of Aztec Ruler, beautifully ridden by Steve Parnham. Leaders back, got the split, blew them away. Tell us about 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way down, because it looked like those horses out wide just couldn't make ground. Like coming to the home bend, I know Richie Bell sounded like he might have been invested on, he's not betting anymore, I know that, but he would have tipped Mojo Rhythm, and It loomed like it was going to go bang, and just didn't get to them, did it?
Yeah, quite literally, my notes here, loomed large on the turn. That's exactly what he did, and he just couldn't make significant ground like he did last start, where I think he was 13th or something. He wasn't even in the screen, and he's come flying down the outside. Yesterday, he was nearly 4 wide from the 600 metres as well. Jared trying to get him into the race before the turn. Look, I thought it was a huge run by Mojo Rhythm to be finishing 5th, 2.5 off Aztec Rule of Red 53. And when you consider, Jared Noske yesterday rode 55 kilos, and I don't know when the last time Jared rode 55, but it shows a very big commitment from Jared to be able to ride that horse yesterday, and also speaks to the professionalism of him as well to be able to do that. And unfortunately, to be served up, I think, with that track was probably a disservice to a lot of people involved. But look, that's not taking any credit away from the winner or Red 53. I thought Red 53, if he won that yesterday, I reckon we'd be sitting here and saying that was by far right of the day from Chris Parnham, who blew the whistle from last on the turn, stayed on the rail, and he's got through to finish just less than half a length off him. It was absolutely unreal to see. I don't think Richie saw him out of the corner of his eye until the last 50, after he declared Aztec Rule of winning at about the 150 metre mark.
It flew, didn't it?
It flew.
Absolutely flew. Mood swings out in front.
Mood swings out on front. That's where I went yesterday, just back the leaders, and we got $16 and a nice each-way divvy, and he held on really well for Luke Campbell on the lightweight going around.
Weapon Sun was good.
Weapon Sun was good, 2 lengths off with
Had
Luke.
to come out and swing around and get out to the outside of Mojo Rhythm and got past him, so that was a good effort.
It certainly was. You also had River Rubicon able to make some nice ground here on the back of its nice Pinjarra Classic win last start. I thought Tricks of the Trade, there were some punters I heard earlier this morning having a few big bets on him. I don't think he got any luck either, but it's still a tough ask from barrier 13 to carry 61.5, I thought. But yeah, no, absolutely great edition of the Bunbury Stakes. It's great to see some real high-quality horses running for this, and we saw the Cup yesterday there as well, and the next, as well as the Bluff and Isle. So it's a great piece of racing at the moment.
Okay, New Zealand 3 for 255 as we listen to the replay of the Bunbury Cup, sponsored by Swan Draft.
Chino can't get away from Black Fantasy, who levels up strongly on the outside. Casino 17 is camped over them beautifully. Then No Apology. Holy Enchantment got off the inside. Around the turn, 400 to go. Maricino joined by Black Fantasy. Casino 17 is on the outside. Then No Apology blazing away. Holy Enchantment. Tony Spirit and Queen Elena. Black Fantasy. Maricino. Casino 17. It's a line of 3. Casino 17 blazing away coming. Black Fantasy. Great finish. Casino 17 in front, flashing, blazing away, flew, might have nailed the victory. It's a photo finish. Casino 17 and blazing away, who flew. Holy Enchantment on the outside. It's a wonderful...
Well, tell us about this and the win by Geordie Turner aboard Blazing Away.
Blazing Away, just absolutely blazed the Marty. This I'm going to say came out of nowhere. It went around 50 to 1 yesterday and won the Cup. But geez, I tell you, we had Maricino leading on the Merry Dance, carrying the big 62 kilos on leading. Then we had Black Fantasy sitting on its outside, which we all thought it would be. And from there, I thought that was possibly going to be 1-2. Casino 17 tracked them like it was just absolutely trucking into the race. And it was the only horse I kind of wanted to be on in the run. And had to go move into the 3 wide line and just couldn't get over the top of them because Blazing Away was sat really, really soft off them and was able to find a path through on the minimum weight for Geordie Turner. I thought it was a great ride. Harrow spoke afterwards saying don't waste a lick of energy whatsoever, and he didn't. He only went around a horse when he needed to from the rail. And I know he went around 50 to 1 yesterday, but I went back through his form. He probably shouldn't have been 50 to 1.
No, he shouldn't have been.
He shouldn't have been at all. He finished, a length and a half in the Towton, half a length in the ATA. Perth Cut, he had a cut to his eye, right that off, and then he had an unsuitable 1,600 metre freshen up before he was flat in the Detonator, but then they chucked the blinkers on instead of the visors, and that's the result you get.
He's a master trainer in terrific form, David Harrison. He's pulled the tricks again to get Blazing Away home. And
Certainly
as he said, great ride, Geordie Turner. Quickly, the beaten division.
Queen Elena, I thought, made pretty good ground yesterday. I think she's back to running pretty well. No Apology followed Maricino. Couldn't get out for the entirety. Kuramundi racing well. I thought it was another good run against the pattern as well.
Last event, the City and Regional Fuels Handicap over 1,400.
Next of all, followed by Without Reg, who's down on the inside of Media Baron, and then Ollie's Choice moving up on the outside, picking up some ground from defending, and Special View is back last as they come around the home turn. Sisu Warrior is just in front around the bend from Rockanurian on the outside, Romancing the Rock. Catch These Hands is back on the inside, Without Reg trying to work into the clear. Media Baron's on the outside. Ollie's Choice is trying to pick up from the back of the field, and then Special View. Rockanuri has raced up and hit the front. Sisu Warrior comes back. Without Reg is getting out. Ollie's Choice out wider. Sisu Warrior fights back in front of Rockanuri, and Sisu Warrior has won from Rockanuri. Third close, Media Baron, all Without Reg.
Yeah, finally Sisu Warrior. Well, not finally. He's been a very consistent galloper by gold standard out of the Costa del Lago Mare. Porter Cristo gets the money there for Grant Alana and Clint Johnson Porter.
He was, and we heard in the background there, the party had well and truly started there at Bunbury yesterday after this, and they actually chucked the music on as the horses went back into the mounting yard, so that was a bit of a reception for them, so they quickly changed that. But Sisu Warrior was huge first up, I thought, against Ice Picnic, who we all have got a good future, who we think has a good future here in WA. But Ollie's Choice, and take nothing away from it, was able to lead very well, cross from barrier 9, and from there, that's where you needed to be. Ollie's Choice was the runner, though, that there was a few big bets on, I think I saw, yep. and there's a reason for it. It was everybody's follow book. Everyone wanted to be on yesterday, and he blew it by 3 lengths at the start. Stephen lost his left iron, and I tell you what, he got it back in, one stride, and if he didn't, it would have been more than 4 or 5, I reckon. He was able to get it in real quick, straight back on, and he's only gone down by a length and a half on a track he couldn't make any ground on. So he's again another follow, but he's now becoming expensive to follow. Media Baron, the old boy grey, ran nicely into third here, I thought, and Without Reg into fourth. Thought he needed to find leaders back yesterday to have a real winning chance.
Okay, now I've lost my horses to follow, Sting, so you better give us a couple.
That's all right. Horses to follow. Flower in the Wind, I thought. Big run yesterday. Prey again as well, one of the few horses to make ground. I like Forever Boy, like what we spoke about with him. I think he's a horse to follow in the future. And in the last, I'm going to say Ollie's Choice again, but I reckon it might be the last one. How
about Rockanori? New first run for SJ Miller. I thought showed a return to form.
Did show a return to form. I just will want to see it again when it doesn't have track conditions to suit it.
Okay, we've got the big one down in Albany today, the Bluff Knoll slot race, sponsored by Wellington and Reeves. And let's have a quick look at the betting on Tab Touch, where we have down the bottom 13 Oscars Fortune favourite at $2.35. Snowdome is $8.50, Acromantia 11, Red Can Man at 5, and down to 12 Laced Up Heels at $8.50. Your thoughts?
Cracking race. What a cracking race for Albany today. And I mean, I'm guessing every local will be on Red Can Man going around for the first time of this going around. And, geez, he trialled like a bomb as well for the Wolf Camp. I reckon he'll have him tip-top ready for this. I think I saw his Scotty's best each way play of the day down there as well, Red Can Man. But there is a cracking amount of speed in this as well. We've got Acromantula, Beau Zoom, Oscar's Fortune, and even Strathmore Rose to all clap the pace on here. And if they move forward on Red Can Man from 10, I reckon they might be able to find a spot in running, and he could be very hard to go past. He ran straight past Oscar's Fortune in the trial. And we also even have a horse like Laced Up Heels, who's one of the few horses Speed Amelia's jewel here in WA. So, great race. The only thing for me is Oscar's Fortune. The only 2 horses that's beaten him is Overpass and Ripcord.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go past him on that basis.
Okay, so the favourite for you, Oscar's Fortune down the bottom. All the best to all the slot holders, all trainers, jockeys. Hope it's a massive day.
Hope it's a good one down there.
Yep, you bet. Thanks for coming in, Matt.